In fact, before togenda somo timoko mwenge ngatire asinga chungwa kwa nakururitanga nga Linda etabauti eraoga ti girinda mwana inchine netinse muchindekero kurigereria number 1 ekene kiama kewose. Yeah, it is youth centered. But my question is, even if it is youth centered na mwana kero tokote makurili boraibo basai aiga Kenya, ODM ne kiama kiabeirao actually ne kiabeiraro. So my question is, abasai kero abasai go join wasekera mukuri yobora yoboega. Is it wasinga neribia mukuri yobora umutagita maonchorerio asogo so ebia mabiri bia very existing, or say do you have ideas to take bia binya mochaketi movement chinye so that inga monyore chinchiri mutagite?
First of all, a change is not about the kiama.
Okay.
A change is about ideologies. Mono ideologies ichiga na chichiko make a difference between a vyama. Unaona. For example, ukodigere Linda Mwananchi igere focused on, are we able to solve problems chire youth centered? Why do I need to form a new kiama if there is already a kiama that aligns with my interest? That is why democracy allows you kudigere rina ki ODM even tego kwana, do I believe in them mpaka UDA? Because nevangu siga mpaka bari UDA mbaroro bako kwa reasons bako tayabana ki this is the reason why I am in UDA. So youths forming new alliances is not a problem, it is a constitutional right. Ekinege ntoke tutakire gukora 20p onye no na rero gugutaka na boko imukoro sie kiama, as long as you have abantu bakorengerera bunaye. But away from ebyama, can we look at the real hard differences we are looking for? Because that question comes from the school of thought nga riendonye mutagete konyora a new difference. Why can't you have a new youth or a new president or a known mochake from the ground up? But the truth is, nonyembali bali bono in the nini, they did not start from the ground up. They took people who aligned with their interest and they formed EBIAMA. They have repeatedly and repetitively been changing their faces. Mm-hmm. So it is not a big deal for us to form an INI. We can do that. Mm-hmm. But for now, what we have is an alignment of interest. And Linda Mwananchi aligns with those interests that are youth-centered.
All right. Yes. Actually, kuna swali nilikuwa nimetumiwa hapa before mnanagote bitogendo mote moko. Kuna mtu alikuwa ananiambia Magi Frida kija hapa muuliza ile swali. Youth, do they want power? Wase motagetoka wa in power?
Both. What is the difference between being in power and having power? I mean, okay, I will not address that nini. Sit address the semantics. It's like saying, do you want the room or do you want to be in the room? I mean, we do want power because power is what makes you consequential. Power is what makes the difference between wewe kuenda kwa streets kupiga kelele and wewe kuenda kwa parliament na place a vote against a finance bill. It makes the difference between wewe kukua kwa mkutano wa mtu mwingine, a politician, na kumpigia makofi, and you being in the county assembly offering oversight for your governor. In power, iyo yenye anaongea, because I mean in this context it's the same, lakini let me just indulge the question. The difference between having power and being in power. So far right now, in power, we gave what the two levels. For example, we are in power. Do we have the power? But we are in power. We have the vote. We are within the political processes that enable power. We are within the political processes that give other people power. You are in power, but you are a non-participatory character, an NPC, which means your role there is docile. You are all there while you are within the structures of power. They are just secondary and inconsequential roles. Mo ngabere sana na kwa nirege songo nimete nesho ye kwerende ye kigusi. In power can also mean that we have an outfit. Buna Linda Mwananchi. Egotoimoki throughout the ranks chia power. Bono konyoranga gukugenda sobo obo MCA, you have a youth that is in power and that has power.
All right.
Evo to the levels all the way to the governor, all the way to the presidential candidate. So that is a good question, but it's semantically it's not any different one from the other.
So actually kuna pia mtu anaweza sema kwamba mostly nyinyi kama vijana,
yes,
wakati kama wa campaign huwa mnatumika sana.
Absolutely. That is true. That is historically true.
So how? It
is historically true. Let us look. Okay, tiganchake from without as I come within.
Okay.
So revolutions, because youth's role mostly, up until 2024, by the way. Up until 2024, rito akorete the Gen Z protest. Aba sai aba arenge gotumeka from the on very demeaning roles in political processes. Aba sai bare gotumeka nga intumo ende muoge, intumo ende mokore mobilize for votes, and also ukweli ni kwamba aba sai wanatumika. How do you know you are being used? It goes back to that question ya power na in power. How do you know you are being used? Number one, you can participate, but you cannot influence. True or false? When, for example, one guy ase gasi yago one ati kwane gasi yago tinyora na sambi. For example, bantu bare bari ikire nabo mokorangirigwe meeting. Mubori guga igana na kimoro chetagokora. Mwateba twarorire nga esiteri gokore gasi tutakire twanyora chitishu echo ime tutakire twanyora noe na bagendi bacharimo bukabere batokwanera mwatebigo na that is your opinion sawa tutaenda tufikirie baira na baba etishu yoka baba tebinga bono egento turanyara gokora ni chitishu turaba ento konyara konyora umuntu bugukwana ento konyara gokora si will not repair for now aba korie gasi yabu they are participating in the general well-being of that institution, but they don't make the final decisions. So that is what youths, the story of youth has been in politics. You are participating, but you are not influencing. Number two, youths have to make in revolutions. Let us take, for example, Chinsebuna. I will go to Russia. Russia, the year 1917. Umontanaro kuruku Vladimir Lenin. Orengo Mosai, orengo push for liberation from the Tsar rulership. By the time Bago Chakonyora, the freedom, in fact, he only stayed for, I think, 4 years at Araku. But Areko mobilized Abantabange. But if you look at the structure of government, in Russia, Konyora Bado Navaga Kabaroro, you've been there, you've been fighting, na yo wakwa sama andamano, toa smoke chitia gasi, lakini at the end of the day, Ridia Bantawa, we can answer, negotiate, go Korea, message, Kwanyora Musaita Koretiki, Tayo, participation without influence. Toche America, Toche South Africa, they suffered. Baka kore abasongo baba chandete in the system yari kurukunga apartheid students baringe ba Soweto Students Council 1976 in the 16th day of June baga soka bakarwana abana bagaitu 2 kids bagetu ebicha mpaka ense kamayanga gakitiga to chenchera to go treat youths in politics, lakini in the leadership ya South Africa ngo baringa ororo babo Nelson Mandela, Cyril Ramaphosa barina abana nene.
All right, what Rabo Frede kindly asingicho yebiru beto byakire cyaragirisa to cyabono mambe lakini to basi kweba mo tegerereza nabo gusangana ntugwetera SMS line 0706102102 kandi asa mutandao o YouTube Vuna TV no turi live Facebook Radio Vuna 102.0 FM tuko live ase studio to gusanganere Frida Onduso o Euromo Secretary General kurasa nsemo ya Linda Mwananchi. Chendoke the first lady tutarudi tuendelee.
FM 102.0 Radio Talk. Vuna FM. Tosese niwekere ngaki. Vuna FM. Tosese niwekere ngaki. 20. Tosese niwekere ngaki. Tosese niwe na Vuna FM. Tosese niwe na Vuna FM. Vuna FM. Atosese ni wamo tuenzi. Tokuneke minero.
Aya namangana maya asenjera yuwekiran. Kurwa chinkonko inyichense ime ya Radio Vuna.
gatia bara yabasubate iga Kenya bagende kuikeria bikore byogochero kwa bane byarekane komente kana samatuka bwango igatia babwatani kurwase kyama gya ODM nigo bagendete kwegerera uko bwatani wekyama kyamo ne kyama gya UDA bagosegeto gochoro kwentunda yakabere ko muraibu ensobone William Ruto sobochore bonne bole bosyo na babwatani obeji semikurwa sorongoro gusi nigo bagendete gotogikera go morobeli moya bwa masomo CB hasokuru libagali tanga nigo ja sebiegwa bia bana sukuru ayo mana yanda mangu manchomo wategereri na kwaria ndingo manya sencherere yo boikerano tinsa isato chebo na mambia elietaria nenche gongoro kwa Geoffrey Ngongo ababwatani obeji semikurwa sorongoro gusi nigo bagendete kubwatesia na nemono gotogia homorobelia homoye bwa masomo OCBE hasoko gendera gusire biego bya bana haschi sukuru kagusangana barike mangana maya homoro ke manene bwe sukuru iye secondary ya St Don Bosco nyabyosi yego toka sebungia getutu masaba se county Nyamira omwalimu Andrew Nyamari nigatebere buna homorobelio yomo yebwa masomo nigo rekane kwenana libagali tanga nigo chese biego bya bana gekorenganwa nomorobelio mokoro bwe semi 0844 nonye nabo ningagende gosegeta hegesa gukimo gusi kwa bana chisemi bunenchere moyo gocha kobakonya na nemona samatukale bosio ko babantu bengencho ase amate
serengete kiyomono yakogera umwana bw'umutaka bikaransa n'umwana bw'umunde mesera nande kiari antuburabu asetinka nale ko baburi nga tigato beke birangaralio n'umukito munene ntumna abagusi asechisema nabono ni ngakire community ya Nyabyosi biyamona ase bana mwato wa grade 10 mwato abana nabange around 86 abo torenta na bubiya sana ase system ya CBE mnatuanya rorire nere tofauti na system ya 844 abana abegobora bangu mano sana nande okorora bale nirango ya masomo sana nabono kwa tole STEM social sciences na go explore tole possibility ya arts and sports science as STEM tobulate sub learning area ya media technology ya grade 10 abana babwateganga ibo chikoba abaralia nabarikia mangana
kobeke nsema yarengete ne sekte yo yechisemina komurekera mangana rengete siasa moseneta bwe county ya Nyamira eriko kongo mugeni nigo hamoiro koboko mwaziri mukoro Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i erigo chakoba seribagalire ligia liokoira obora inakoleta moncho lyobora imensi ya Kenya sobochole bonne bule bosim kagukwana sebunge ya Ugunja hase county ya Siaya Bwigoro Okongo niga gende gosegeta abantu kurwa segesa gukia bagera ko bwate se Matiang'i hase ganga bwate yo kolige kero ke bora iwensa sobochole bonne bule bosio ekere kyo Kongo niga gende ko ikeria serikali rabisibone ya Kenya kwanza hasoko genda ko baunelia ba Kenya wetera soko kinaligolia mabuta elia gende ko tabuna nigo ligendete guchanda ba Kenya na nemono ko genda ko bakongeli bogima ko bwate kana no gukina kwa magoli y'ebintu au
kule tunatoka sisi ni wale watu tulisimama na Raila Odinga hii miaka yote. Mimi tangu niingie siasa nikichaguliwa na ile chama ya Raila Amolo Odinga. Sasa vile nimefika hapa Bishop, si huo rafiki tuendelee kuwa pamoja. Kama namna gani? Si tuendelee kuwa marafiki. Sisi tuko na huyu kijana wetu anaitwa Matiang'i. Si unikubalie Bishop nitembeze yeye hapa muombe tujaribu vile tunaenda. Kama namna gani jamii? Kama nimesema mbaya.
Yuko huru hapa Kenya.
Na mtusaidie tuombe. Mimi leo nimekuja nimejaribu kuingia bodaboda, mafuta imeenda juu. Iko mbaya. Ama nyinyi hapo mafuta iko namna gani? Tuache iendelee ama tujaribu ipungue chini. Unajua mkitutuma sisi ndio wakilishi wetu. Mkisema tufike Nairobi, tuseme mafuta ishuke penye ilikuwa tutaenda tuseme. Sasa nikirudi Nairobi, nikutane na seneta wangu wa Siaya, mzee wetu tunamuita representative of the youth. Unajua sisi ndio wakilishi wetu. Sasa nikienda Senate mtaniona nimeshika microphone. Nasema nilikuwa Ugunja na niliongea na watu wa Ugunja. Na watu wa Ugunja wanasema mafuta irudi pale ilikuwa. Namna hiyo.
Gutigana nayo higati y'abagwatani b'ekyama ya ODM nigo besokire na kwegera ko bwatana bw'ekyama ekyo hamwe n'omuraibu ensobone William Ruto ase omunyakero bw'ekyama ya ODM omusubati Gladys Wanga ayegereire ko bwatana okwiga gotabuna n'enchire yamo bagendete kwene kibine emirimo ngokorekanire bw'ikirano imensi ya Kenya Wanga oyoraite bwatani banda bange kurwase ekyama ya ODM asensemo ya Dandola abwigoro ningagende gusegeta ogochoro bw'entunda ya kabere ko omuraibu ensobone William Ruto asate biribu no moraibwense ni garachi kore na sentunde ya kabere muda se obojolyo bonne buli bosio ase no nyina bayene kiribune kiamagia UDM ningokera chikopega tibiama birachi koro ise serikali yego cha sobojolyo bonne buli bosio.
Ile ambayo tumebadilisha ni tactics. Tumebadilisha style ya kupigania wananchi wa Kenya. Sahi tunajua tunasumbuka na ile mambo ya fuel hapa nchini na bei yake. Watu wanasema ODM kwa nini mmenyamaza? Hatuja nyamaza. Sisi ndio tumetuma expert pale wazingatie na wazungumzie na waangalie mambo ya fuel.
Zoning lazima ifanywe. Zoning, hatutaki ugomvi na UDA na hatutaki ugomvi na mazungumuzo. Hapa Nairobi governor ni ODM na mimi nishatangaza tutapambana kwa kiti ya governor Nairobi.
Power ya kuchagua viongozi iko kwa mkono ya wananchi. Nataka kuambia Rigathi Gachagua hiyo mambo yake ya ukabila abaki nayo huko Nyeri. Sawa sawa?
Radio Vuna, station ya chirangu mamono. Radio Vuna, abarari baba tobo manyi mono. Radio Vuna, abarari baba tobo manyi mono. Radio Vuna, Radio Vuna
102.0 FM.
Kene kia mangana yogendete gotegera Radio Vuna 102.0 FM manyugwe buna gwateka korwa chingongo inyechense. Umunyakerugo bikia magia UDM musubati Gladys Wanga nigesokirie na nemono kugania serikali koligichinjira chinunge cyogweso nani na nemono koligegokeye ebikore byogocheru kwa bana bakebya bere bikomentekana imense ya Kenya sama tukabwango iga ukwana bwigoro hasense ya dandola hase haraeta babwatani bande kurwase kia magia UDM asomo sangerekano yo moge siasa sense meyo musubati Gladys Wanga niga ichaniro komentekana kwa bikore bya sama tukabwango iga asabana bakebarekane gochererwa abande bangentwa abana bantu batamanyikaniye ngakia kanebyo mbyo bolendi kwimukera igoreri kwimukige kero kebwendete enkwana ye nigegocha chi gose asege kakerense ike moyo kamaiga ya omwana bw'emyaka 5 korwa se ebunge ketutu masaba se county Nyamira oyo ogotebekana gochererwa na nemono mubiro yegotoka ase nyomba ereyemo asenseme yetamenyiri sakagere goitwa no musawo ya makuru asenseme yo nige bikore binga bune byarekane bikone kiwa sinsemo na nemono ase ebunge ya kitutu masaba amune chinsemo chinde chinyinge cherogongorwa gusina Kenya yonsi ase no nyina bomusubati Wanga ganire serikali koimokera igoro helikobeka machika matindi na nemone byombi byobolendi kugandra kubwatia chingana chingabune chubune nchereyemo yogo ikyo mwele bikore byarekane comment kana sama tukabwango iga.
Tunataka wa security agencies tafadhali tuchunge watoto wetu. Watoto ndio our future.
Nsemo nayo na komunikera mangana lengete no muswada bwe chibesa bu mwaka bwe chiri 2025 mu mwaka bwe chiri 2025 nebere omuraibwe kyama kya Wiper Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka sentunda yende nigagende gosegeta bakenya gotuguteraro muswada bu mwaka bwe chibesa bwe chiri 2024 mu mwaka bwe chiri 2025 nebere sekelia gatabuna nigo homoswado yole nebingese getabirigete komente bangera jikogenda ko bamigaba Kenya Kalonzo yoruka kwa na buigoro hasa ikanata sekanisa ya ASK St. Stephen's Cathedral sensemo ya Kenorme kaunti ya Murang'a chinga kia sangeta semisa ya Jumapili yege Pentecosto Kalonzo nigo hatabiribuno moswado yo nigo bwatebi ngesegete byebango biraje kwenda kuba migaba Kenya habuta yale bagenda komigwa no bugimo bokongu kubade kanoki na kweli goli ya mabuta boigo niga genda ile kuikiria serikali rabisi bona Kenya kwanza soko endra kubonelia ba Kenya chinga kibiga ya mochiria sobora ibu ayobubi.
And I'm going to talk about the finance bill tukitoka kule. Our position is reject it as it is. Reject finance bill 2026-2027 because sasa ina introduce quietly leasehold. Dedan Kimathi atakuwa amekufa bure ikiwa ile damu wa Kenya walimwaga haswa watu wa mlima huu walimwaga ndio ardhi yetu iwe sawa. Sasa nyinyi wajukuu wenu watakuwa kilipa rent because leasehold kupatiwa lease unalipa rent. generate wajukuu, vizazi vijavyo na vingine, and that is what this administration is trying to introduce. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema mapema reject, and that is our position even as a party. You know, I like that challenge Senator Nyoti sema, na hivi unaona uongozi fulani unasindikiza mambo ya mauaji na chuki. Je, hata hiyo jameni, you know, now these governing authorities, if they are driven by political mischief and hate, to what extent do we pray for them?
Saraboturu kuraso mora yubi kemeko ipagendete kugikeria homo swada bu mwaka w'ikibesa w'ikirubube na 2025 mwaka w'ikirubube na 2025 nibere nongo ya butora mangana maya senchirere yo wikirano intunde ige chinseisatu chinsenye ninchikoranaga kumanya yo munayanda manga senchirere yo wenge igongoro kwa Geoffrey Ng'ong'o kolende tosukale hasegeke gikiribosyo korenandega kumanyina ali atekiri kurase biti bito na kuganira botegereri burubia.
Uyo noro mweli obwa mangana maya asenchira yo wikirano.
Vuna FM. Vuna Vuna FM. Vuna Vuna FM. Ase bibinde bia. Vuna FM. Asambatera mayai. 102.0. Asambaranga mayai. To sese niwe kerengaki. Abararia baya. Novo semi ujana mangana maya. 102.0 FM Toguna Ekeminero.
Away from 2, 3, 4. Wonderful. It had to be. He's at it again in a Merseyside derby this time. That is quite something. The boy's a star. One glorious goal.
Aya na mga na mayanje chikosoli na kolentwa sule na Radio Vuna.
Inganchere ngokwani naendo mwanchomo tekereri Radio Vuna 102.0 FM naende ngwaligene SMS ito hiye chikosoli te manyibuna tekeri kura sebiti onche kongoro kwa Geoffrey Ng'ong'o. Timu ya mupira bwenko ya basubati ya Shabana Starlets nigo yenyoriri bagase ligene ya basubati iga Kenya ya Women's Premier League iga maiga ya timu iyo ko nyora obubibwe chigoli satu asemo asegetiga kadino lutunga mosojo litukule Jumamosi obubibwe abaenekelia ko babanyangongo obe ligi ya kabira iga Kenya basubati ya sezoni ya ba koba abanyangongo se timu iyo yabugule abanyangongo bwe etasidetike minone kemo timu ya sebone kora unero mwe oyo kabiro mo gosoli mo korwe klabu ya Shabana Pito Gechi nigo yarekane okolibi ya chinga kia bugule abanyangongo bwe etasidetike minone kemo nigo bone timu ya sera seligenense ya Kenya ya basubati chinga kirachi kwenda kusikania mone timu chinde se ekeminane kyo kia abasubati iga Kenya chinga kia yarekane okolibi ya samatuka bwango iga kera yagendete hase lige yo ya basubati hetimu ya abasubati yo mupira bwenko ya Mathare United Women ni gobo igo ya sira se lige nense ya abasubati maigobo igo yokoba abanyangongo ase ligi ya National Super League ensema ya abasubati ase season mwaka wa 2025 mwaka wa 2025 mo ase ezoni ya a abanyangonga bono ni gobo rachiko so ase lige nense ya Kenya chinga kibarachi kwenda kusikania mone chitimu chinde sencheremo yokoligo munyangongo ase lige nense ya Kenya. Se ligi ya kabira iga Kenya sensemo ya basache ligi ya rekane kubwata insasa matuka bwango iga chinga kibikaraboni ge timu ya Migori Youth ya rekane kwena se oboraibwe ligi yo yel nene yense ya Kenya chinga kechike kandete kusikania mone timu chinde kuikaraboni ga se ligi ya kabira mense ya Kenya timu iyo nigo egendete kora ligi yo neche point meronge bere na meronge tane bere na yemo chinga kichiga egendete kuminyokania mone timu na bone timu eli ya Mombasa United ibwe bwata che point meronge tane bere na yemo uikira boniga chinga kitimu eri ya 3K FC gocha seri bagalia gatatu neche point meronge tano mona kianda timu iyo nigo yarekane koro kibara iburu ya chinga kirega tie timu chibwato bomanyima mano ase lige ya kabere mense ya Kenya mega yetimu yikosere mino 34 chinga kibone lige yetigarete ebiminano bine byokerigwa kwa moelio niga hetimu yo ya Migori yutera jigoswageti eikende iga gochigisikania mone timu ya MCF gosemuri Children's Home sekemino kera jigosaliwa rituko lia Jumatano chinga kibara jigosikania mone timu ya segeti kia Wendo Green Stadium timu ya MCF niga techitimu chitaliko kolibia se lige yo ya kabira iga Kenya chinga kichigegendete kubwata nsekerage goikera bono iga Gito tigarita se lige yo ya kabira iga Kenya obubi bwa echigoli bera seyemo se ekemineno kia eikendi ose obwaita bwetimu ya Guja Stars nigo buyo bwarengo bwenge obwemo eso gucha se timu ya berege kwenda senga kentambe anemonetara nyora obubi ya se minu wetani bitano bono chinga ki timu ya nyorto buyo bwa vegeta saga ya na nemono kwenda kwebeka saronge kwerusikurwa sege sirigi wikikurwa se ligi ya kabira imense ya Kenya timu yo egotema gogosoria ase elige yo ya kabira iga Kenya sentunde ntangani mega yo kwenyoruko tiriucha se ligi kurwa se ligi ya FKF Division 1 ningobone timu yo egendrete gokolibia ase gosetara page gokolibia samatuka bwango iga kolendo bubibwa weekendi nigobwa bakonyete timu ikwebeka saga ya ase ligi ya kabira imense ya Kenya oikeraboni ge timu yo ya Gucha Stars nigegendete kubwaterera ase libaga lia 14 pointe 35 na isatu chinga kichiga egendrete ekobera gose asetigaritie chipointi ikominemo igoro yogo ikikurwa se ligi ya kabira iga Kenya timu yo bono nigegendete koligi chinjire chokonyora machibwara marunge elikwebeka saga ya se ligi ya kabira mense ya Kenya semino binde bya startwa se ligi ya kabira mense ya Kenya timu ya Kisumu All Stars niganyora to bubwe golia ma sebosa chinga kichiga ya gusikania mone timu ya Michael Olunga Football Academy chinga kia timu ya Mwadata United yengere golia ma seno timu mone timu ya Mombasa United Nzoia Sugar he kuliwe golia ma seno timu mone timu ya Naivas chinga kia timu ya ya So United ya yengere timu ya Kapati chigoli bera sema timu ya Nairobi City Stars nigo yancha nete makaliyo gotanyonsania mone timu ya MCF 3K FC boige kancha na makaliyo gotanyonsania mone timu ya Equity Pange chinga kibuna na komanye timu ya Gucha Stars nigo yanyora to bubwe chigoli bera sema chinga kibale kumnyakania mone timu ya Luanda Villa timu ya Darajani Gogo ikayengere timu ya Viga United golea mase enoti chinga kia timu ya Migori yayengere timu ya Kibera golea mase enoti timu ya FC Talanta ikasigikania kigima na konyoro bibwe chigoli nya sisa to chinga kibale kumnyakania mone timu ya Fortune Sacco segi yokorigyo bonyangongo bwege kombe anemona se ligue nense ya Kenya ya SportPesa Premier League nigo yege mweli ya bwigoro maiga ye timu ya FC Leopards kwegerwa chigoli bera sema mone timu ya APS Pometa sekemino ke gosaritwa se ligue UNE haiga Kenya segetiga Kericho Green Stadium chigoli chibere ase mobweita bwe timu ya APS Pometa nigo bwale maletie okorigia we timu ya FC Leopards bonyangongo bwaba sentunde ntanga nikuru mwaka bweli bwe mochimiki anda merongo kiande tane tatu chinga kebegeti wa mwelio na nemo timu ya Gor Mahia korali ko babanyango be ligue ya nense ya Kenya timu iyo ya Gor Mahia nigo yararetiwe ko babanyango chinga kitigarite mino bibere ligo ikyo mwelio hemino bya ya season iga ya umwaka bwechiri bube na 25 umwaka bwechiri bube na 25 nemo ko bwatekana bono no buyo bwe timu ya Gor Mahia nigo yakiri mu barubu bikombe ya bwira se ligue ya nense ya Kenya wekebiminano wose bibi kombe 22 asibore na chiri baga ase ege kombe ya CAF Confederations Cup mega yoko bugolio bunyango be ligue nense ya Kenya ya SportPesa Premier League ekera yakendete segio kolige ke koro tokyo monyonse mu ya se ligue nense ya Kenya ya SportPesa Premier League nigo ke gendrete kubwata inse chinga ke mogosari Joy Waithera go King Joy harrekane koralia segien tinda sokoligo bunyango ngo ibu mogosari yo mega yoko nyoro bubi ugose mega yoko nyonsi go libera bwigoro nigo bonegetie homo baro bwe chigoli chaye konyonsia ase ligi naiga Kenya ya SportPesa Premier League ikachigoli 19 chinga ki ayetanirie chigoli bere korwa somo nyonse moya we season elingu mukwano mogosori Moses Shuma hoyosogete kura se club kerika Nairobi City Stars ucha se club kerika Dynamo Power himense ya Zambia bono King Joe nigagendete kuraria rieteria ebuya na nemono chinga kechiga agendete kuraria rieterio na nemono kumusebirabu ao koruime ense ya Kenya na isiko ense koligio bokoli bumusagani oyo ogekosa de krabu kiamrangasil egekosera selige ense ya Kenya nonye nabo niga okonyonsi kwa ebuya kogendete kwimukia mabulia mange igatia Kenya na banche bengo ya iga Kenya bagendete kobolia chisababu chitaragero mogosori yatarangiriwa seko sigeti miense ya Kenya Harambee Stars na nemono chinga kechiga gendete kobaligia aba gosori bako kolibia asege kosi ekyo bosibwa mamenanio ya AFCON korwa lida balia bora ya klabu ya Arsenal mwelio enkeraletu kwa banyangobe liga nense ya Bongereza maiga ye timu eyo ya Arsenal kwenda kokolibia seminano ao chinga kierwane segentindi wiga kopule banyangobe liga nense ya Kenya nonyena be timu ya gose banyangobe liga nense ya Bongereza nonyena be timu ya Arsenal ni goya kulru marakerobo bwe miaka hemerongebere nebere bwo gotabuguli banyangobe liga nense ya Bongereza chinga kechige timu eyo ya kolita selibakali tangane point 53 naisano chinga kejiga yaretu kwa banyangobe liga nense ya Kenya kubwatekana no buyo bwe abatoteli be timu ya Arsenal ase chinsemo ao chinse ya Kenya na isiko yense niko basangirekanete achinsemo ao gushingiro buyo bwa senchera ya bene unechireyemo yugo ikyo mwelio hukonya kwabo kwe myaka 72 aso muchibosongo hegati abatoteli abo nigo basogete asubogatakati bo muchibosongo senchera yemo yugo chengera hobo buyo bwe asuborogete mogokobo kubwatekana no kuganyo kuba bere bagotwara senga kentambe chinga ki abange barekane gotogigo koli biyagwe timu ya Arsenal nigo nonye nabo abatoteli abwe barekane gotogigo koli kwabo kwa timu ya Arsenal buya chinga ke chiga bagendete wetielia na nemo no kuganyira timu ya Arsenal gusene chikonyara kobolia kombe ke UEFA Champions League asentunde ntangani chinga kibara chikubikana biara amune timu ya Paris Saint-Germain asekemirano ge finali kera chikoza rwitari kemeronge 3 chomutenyi gugatano sabatoteli abange boigo baganyirete koli biyagwe timu ya Arsenal araikura semese techi kosera sebire biga isano ne nusu ninchikora naga kumanya yomo na yanda mange nchegongoro kwa Geoffrey Ngongo.
Beautiful something close to genius. He's turned the tie around all by himself.
Oyo noro mwelio bomangana majia yechigosori kwa Radio Vuna.
Rocky Driving School na koranyora masomo yo bogende chigari gochakra class A2, A3, B1, B2 light vehicle automatic, B3 professional, C1 light trucks, CE a heavy trucks, D1 ye chigari chia PSV chokubugulia bantu 14, D2 na D3 ye chibasi. Boigo bavata masomo ye keraskia F asabanto baleno balema ni chikosi chinke buna PCD, P Executive, Basic Mechanics, Basic First Aid, ne chinde chinyinge. Rocky Driving School, evanchiri na NTSA, kurobo koribo masoma maya keralituko. Imeyomo chubo songo, batarira samagacha Market Plaza, Nyakoe, Kioge Junction, Ogembo, banyole chimite mieyemo, kurwe bara ya Mosura, Nyamire bara samagacho, Amanga, Sama Petrol Station, na Kilgoris Town, Mbaleo, Inyora, mbawate ofa asebali bakolire Form 4. Wakere simia sin number 0723 803 503 0723 803 503. Rocky Driving School. Safe driving is our top priority.
Ngolia ole skuru ndia so mwana go munyaruka arasomi grade 10 St Alois Milimani Senior Girls Matibone kwaliganetie skuru ye nigo ebwata balimu bwato manye boigoro omoroberio OCP okubwatigwa bwekanu na byonsi bya bekiwaroro wekirania amasomo STEM na social sciences chinyumba chingi ya choboraro yani boarding section uniform yo mwana go nigo okoigwa bosa toibamba nyore amaigerio ye dini skuru ye nigo egotoka Matibo ane kilomita inye korwa Masimba ne kilomita isano ibere korwa Keroka ayerera ubwatere umwana wo o grade 10 libaga assistant Alois Milimani Senior Girls School. Kumbuka mazingira ni bora, ni boarding, 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 asamange aka esinia senamba 0724 48 1642 0724 48 1642 St. Alois Milimani Senior Girls School.
Strive for excellence. Perfect.
Radio Vuna.
Radio Vuna.
Minto mwenye gutinge. Litukulirya nchirarire. Likwayirira. Likuminyoka. Umutinyo gatano na gatatu umwaka uyu 2026. Igituri ky'abasacha. Men's Conference.
Ile ajenu musacha. Twakwareganire oje tusangamo asomuriko bene o Men's Conference. Ase turanyore libagali okwanira amakongo tugwetera buna basacha okwagachana chinkoro konyora obosemya bwa bene kurwa asabamanye nabo igo konyora esegeto yobogima erine libagali wesomya kobweni gwake birengerelyo kokina kemoikana bo yokwagachwa buna omusacha bwekene ebesajo kwelikya necho shiringi chimisano choka akana gwetera epepi number 552800. Account number nigere 103 enekirieta Radio Vuna. Tubaisa ko saliba keli ngencho lyogo chencha obogima bwaho
umutinyo gatano na gatatu umwaka uyu 2026
Erikie mapema Radio Vuna tosese niwekera engake.
Enyagitari ya Nairobi Family and Maternity nigo ya kwariganiria soko rengo kwa busa asa marwire buna fistula na urogynecology. Inyora nigo bakorenga kerarituko gucakireta likia yemo gwikemero ngevere na ibere cy'umutinyo yo. Inchorengwe n'abanyagitari babwato bumanyi bwigoro mono kurwa chinse cy'isiko na boigo abanyagitari baito. Boigo ntorenge laparoscopy asa marwire buna cyst, fibroid, hysterectomy na marwire onsi y'abasubati. Inyora ngwanchera bare kadi ya sha. Asa mange vanyore kisi epara ya kisi nyatieko gusana boko barikira liuko ase info@nairobifamilyhospitals.org bakere simya se namba 0711526162 gose 0704760443. The Nairobi Family and Maternity Hospitals, because your health matters.
Alright, bya kigimo macho motegele meronge bire na isano na isato chidaika chabu to kire chinsani sato chabono mambe ase studio to genrete ne kwana ya ito kerto kurigele kabese kirenga kia basaina monase kwagacha ense to sama tukarebosio ase studio ninde nomo ngachire matebenga uyu no mora by the way mo secretary general bwensemo ya Linda Mwananchi igakore konga Frida Onduso no tore live asensemo ya Facebook no tore live asomo tandao YouTube eginto gukora genda roro kabisa tusonche bwate interview yiga ye maseyemo nawe gotige comment ya sensemo ya Facebook SMS line 0706102102 ogusangana to semambe yabono Frida. Yes. Actually ngana niretwara gukwanira guri yabasa gutumikwa.
Etwara gotebanga chinse chonsi pina tari kenyoka for a long time chinse chonsi pia chiagatumikira abasaye aso kwenda gwake kuko okuoga chipara twagenda twarangiri gutwachi gusarie mikutano yaba na siasa okonyoro monto yani because abasaye bari poor, because abasaye batabwati opportunities bono konyora barai barabwe bagotebinga nimbwate besa lakini kora atengandore gakiyogotenga ende street yora oga kwanza yenda asomo kutano nyare bora murama enda segetomo betomo yo erinde manye korora gosengo korora ande kando noroche bono 2024 yegaika 2024 buna yaika abasaye konye bakirete kwanza we can look at the patterns chogo akiro murai the late Raila Amolo Odinga niyo tabantu bagatebirenga Raila abwate mbogi ese street lakini litweria elections ebatinde te baraire singincho na abasaye true or false that is the narrative yenye ilikuwa inaenda huko igono tukabanga abasaye ntu mpaka none tukoye chikura eturaire ntutagiti gukora kinde we are not participating lakini arona nabo bagututumeka asamangana demonstrations amaandamano 2024 gaika Ruto coming from that school of thought agakaganga nagenderere gupanisha abasai bakirete akareta a very punitive finance bill yebo nero yatura abasai asibaraire bakabuka bakaenda on the streets bakateba nabo mwamwire igo kwenda turi on the streets nande tari kwenda on the streets weka ito tagete tutuke on the negotiation table onye mutu tageti on that negotiation table konye Vuna because we are the negotiation table. Kenya igebwate 75% of the population igera abasai, lakini in parliament itobwate only 14% representation, and I think that's a very big percentage now. It could be lower than that. Senate bono it is even worse. Ntobwate proper representation abasai across history bakatumeka okora only the donkey work, lakini riria se bono riria abantu bagoso obisi waiko obisi kwate ukora tigaraga abasai kanya bagakabara kwana. 2024 was a major that was a landmark in Kenyan history. Weka inebuna independence ilitwanyorete independence 1963 na 1964 ilitwabete bono a sovereign state ebwate diplomatic functions. 2024 buna yaikaba sai bagasoka isiko abanze bakamanya obe no chaban serious bali aba MP bagachagotebenga yani abantu bagocha maandamano na KFC yani mpaka abantu bali batarenge ku participate in electoral processes tokanyore bari serious bagakaga Kenya yoka Nepal mwaroje bintu Nepal bare okoria barai youths bagateba enough is enough to arosire gutumeka bono iga we are going to take the mantle because lirimo gotochanda paka mama iga chandikete onye timbu atie gasi mama ngirete skuru ngakora mpaka university lakini ngatinko mwana onechi basa chikebiriti. What does that mean?
All right. So Frida, you want to say that ingaboni gabasai ba Kenya bali goturumekwa na monaso guturubania emesangirekano y'abana siasa
bali bake ba gutumeka aso guturubania emesangirerio emesangirekano y'abana siasa, but the truth is tigatorigereri eyune symptom tokorigere murabona igora agenda nyagitari otebe na kigaki omutunko ngati ore nini o nyagitari bona ria gukorigere otebe na macho taranyo maybe you are sick and this is a symptom. Bono tigatorigereri with that concept abasa embaro bagutumeka taribo bagutumekwa aso gusarie mekutano eyune symptom of a bigger problem. Oboroiro bonyene no botaka oboroiro bonene borega abu apart from guturubania mekutano oboroiro bonene kabisa neri naki joblessness. And it should be a shame. It's a big shame to the politicians. Bago capitalize on the problems chia youths. Oboroiro bonene borega abu it's even possible it's drug addiction. Lakini ri bakari as a society you examine why are we having youths in spite of them being the biggest victims of governance processes in this country, why are they also the very first ones going to work and go disruption? And it's very simple. The youths are poor, they are hungry, they don't have peace in their personal lives. And you cannot blame them for that. There is a government that has systematically failed the youths. That is why about David. And I'm telling you in 2027 you will see a big difference in the way youths are going. Wono abasaimba yo barengere chi video bako ira niria bago tabanga ntumo to omochere. Basaimba liko bwatu chi video kira rituko bago samba chi kwerende chi t-shirt. They know they are victims, lakini they are saying for now because kwangiro mochero rero kwangiro kimabwarero I'm going to do this, but 2027 kwa debe you will see the decisive nature and the shift in the youth participation in politics.
All right. Frida, in fact, I think echo ngwatora mangana elections. Yabire nina. It is true. Yeah. That thing, most of the time nimetandao youth bagotoka. Most of the time abasai na sogo korali uroroche na streets. But the change you want. Ino banyene muri ko yekirani nakimutari ko yekirani muri wesoke ko asoko bwati bibande muri wesoke na mono asu wake kura kama last time by the way asu watoriwa 2022 na mbe nyinge yabasai mbali ngao lakini andake tokara 2024 bakusoka chipara. What is the problem?
2022 is the before, 2024 is the after. Oh no, in 2022 Ruto had not happened. In 2022 when the elections were happening, people had not unmasked the monster. It was not clear unajua kuna hizi mnaonanga mimi ni youth ari online kola teba nitorenga umuntu okonyora ka video umuntu akokori ngitugete alafu maya kwa kansenga pa alafu batebanga it was at that moment that he realized he had yani 2023 even the entire country paka bari bakirete ko Ruto chikura konyembara amanyabu ya the full weight of that decision. He got the patterns of election were the same to arojenka mbona lili ngakiri tianu muri kwekwe ebukwe yotanga chinga kichianu bantu mba manye bakotebunga so esa fina ba ignore until the rain started. On 2022 we can forgive it. We can forgive it. Why? Because in 2022 we did not know we had voted in someone that was going to indiscriminately oppress the Kenyan people.
Let me tell you, Frida, even if gotabanga 2022 na be ekoba yokwabirwa. We actually tumeona osetwarorire omubieko no by elections ncha Kurunyamira. Asichi ward levels. Abasayimbarenga wake kura. This has happened actually after
Let me tell you, the turn up has been amazing. Don't buy into the propaganda and youths are not participating.
No, that is not propaganda.
Youths are participating. Can we go to Emuru Wadikir, for example? A stronghold body, a government. Did you see the kind of participation? Let us go to Ininiakina or Modende. Youths were at the forefront. I don't know who is it that is going to these campaigns if it's not the youths? Who is it that is going to vote? Yokotwara 47% opposition in a stronghold area government. 47%. Right now, even the TIFA report will show you that youth participation imekuwa very high. It will show you that people... The thing is, it is beneficial to some people if the narrative is that youths mbarigo participate. But the truth of the matter is, you cannot have Musayo Ndebwensi Osogete in 2024, which was the majority of the people that came out. Musayo Ndebwensi Osogete Akarora. And Mimi, I'm a youth representative, so I'm telling you this as a fact. I'm telling you this because I've had consultative meetings with youths from all over Gusina. I can mention Babo Honorable Brian Nyakundi. I can mention Babo Wycliffe Aminga. These are people that are pushing at the grassroots level. And I want to promise you, the youth participation is even higher. Because the older generations, they are just watching ni kama drama. They are like, hey, abana baito basokire, kumbe tumelea wazalendo. And they are looking at it and it marvels them. We are doing wonderfully. In fact, into as youth, we are running a whole movement called Linda Mwananchi. Linda Mwananchi is a machine that is moving, and the wheels are the youths. And tulikuwa na 70% on the opinion polls is a TIFA.
All right.
Yeah, so our participation is doing wonderfully, and I know 2027 is going to be even much better.
Frida, ingana nirigega ya 2/3 gender role.
Yes.
Na 30% ya youth employment role.
Yes.
Kero gotema kurilia si constitution. Nere implemented.
No, we are doing very badly. In fact, in Africa, I think Rwanda, Ethiopia, nabubatanganeta se gender parity. Gender parity asibari bagotera kurunkankiri naki ntobwate equity. Equality, equity in the way genders chire represented as a government institutions, as a private nini organizations, as a government parastatals. Ntobwate balancing ya abasacha n'abakungu. And in Africa, I think chitanganete babo Rwanda, babo Ethiopia, Kenya na vera bega abu top 10, lakini we are not doing well. Even by, I think we are at 28% or something like that. Even by the standards chia Africa, we are not doing too well. Why? Bono amangana 2/3 gender role wika baribarenka mumanyenga igare ase the 2010 constitution here vete promulgated in August 2010 na the constitution in chapter 11 ego kwa na mangana devolution. Chia tikonchiri kurukunga article 174 na article 175. Eti ego kwa negore ya principles chia devolution. Principles chia devolution, one of them togo kwanera ne you the 2/3 gender rule. Eminenti go kwenda parliament onyore at least a third. You cannot find that more than 2/3 of one gender. Bono eminenti abakungu boka, by the way, eminenti ngaki go kwenda parliament onyore ngaba kungu ebeta 2/3 wikoli yenjera abasacha bagotoko. gokwenda nyore na abasacha gwikorie nchira abakungu bagotoko. If focus yani main in this whole aspect is on elective positions. Tubwate position ikurukunga the woman rep position. We are not doing well. The fact is we are not doing well. There's still a lot that can be done on women and youth representation in these economic and political spaces. We're not touching these elective positions. And I'm about to say something nande naroche engoko Honorable Clive Gisairogo kwana kareta a lot of hit. These positions chiomo woman rep, there were positions that were supposed to be affirmative, correct youths and women into politics through elective positions. Igekoro kwa affirmative action ogwafamu emineti owenda omonto chandegete ensari omotebinga naye noisaine okuna kugokorugo okoraki ogwafamu. Wono torete kiego happen in Kenya as far as affirmative action goes. Okonyoro omonto ne woman rep. Uyu no omonto okorire gasi mpaka oritayire abwate finances nkonyara ari ku move up and down within the county ya campaign. Bono tiganda kubori I don't think agoigire 30 na nkoroche maybe Nyasai, maybe God. Turikoroga muno muntu uri old in the system. Bono muntu naye serikali naye totakiri gocha totabe na baba gaki wachandekire, let us affirm you by giving you a leadership position. Lakini bono affirmative seats echichia 2/3 gender rule chiabire biasara. Njene tuko kwa negoro nga gosen useless chiro gosen useless. That's a debate for another day. Okay. Bono geto kwa negoro ya, are they affirmative? Are they keeping that rule? The answer is no. Why are we affirming a 50-something-year-old woman? Okorire gasi mpaka oritayiro kurukubaba obwate besa nkitoko mu family rende. What are we affirming? Right. This position, my opinion is that they should belong to youthful women. Bari bataranyora kende bago kora iskana ane nabari the majority. Riba gatoko ende iskali kuonie kwere ende tochega igatotebi gunaki. Take this position as an affirmative action and as part of the 2/3 gender rule. The same applies for jobs. The same applies for any other positions in this country.
So Freda watebiringa na mabaga y'abasai.
Yes.
Nabono mwatenenire.
Youthful women.
So are you satisfied ni namba y'abasai batenenire kuri yebirago? Na. Ose kuri galibonega. Abasai mbarenga to bwata barabara ikura gusi. Na onyembayo. Barriers kichi gutanga abasai mbako soka kuri yebiro.
A very good question. Yani, thank you so much for asking that question. Number one, ligatorigere gusi yaito kokorigia abasai gutebigumba wanto nikibagendi au ndio unapata SEO Kenyuri wakati alikuwa nominated and it's not an elective position. So the truth of the matter is that ntobwate some social cultural hindrances, barriers to prevent abasai from actively participating in political processes. For example, one ngabno ogotebe ganga go participate yori. And this one, if it's controversial, I will not apologize. I wanted to say I will apologize in advance, but there's nothing to apologize for because it's reality. Those are some of the things toko wana serikali. That is reality. The reality of the matter is almost chigotenena atara china arengererie kerengererie kyo. The first thing is kayakorus chibesa. Chigotenena. Because politics in their nature echita geto monto ko move around ogokwanera abantu nini, and those things don't come for free. Bono the constitution and the implementation of it, they what a few weaknesses. Maybe it's a weakness in the way we have implemented the constitution, because the constitution of Kenya is one of the finest constitutions we have. Bono abasa imba bote barriers chiko nana kiego nante to kwanira aba ibori baito bariskari. Aye go konyoro montoro choro sirikiende nando nungweto ko seru aye serwa. Lakini abasa etotige gakintu tuwade fuliza bune inu egendo tobuara teime yaito no moyo bwokororana ki twakonyire situation onye korenka mwago bwato mwana ogore 27 years onyorire kibarua Nairobi nko mwakirore simi otema sagoika otomera nonye 500 shillings manyanga noemba lioroche bago participate in politics na barabuna bo barigo eba konyara se ba week at 27 no na eboli at 27 what were you doing because na bia bitota itoko kora turusio boivi in government nga ya 27 year old yakurusi besa choko bangia bantera ini abantu 1000. You know, so those are some of the issues to prevent young people from participating in electoral processes. Number 2, the fact that the process itself wakanere chibesa chiyo candidate ogendo lobia se chipati okoreki, it is an expensive affair both socially and culturally. Tianko ni gore ya culture very briefly. Igore ya culture bono igomo sai atenenenga tevenga, for example gusiya ito is what there is a challenge there, but positions when a women rep, probably they don't have those challenges, lakini wani igomo sai atenene governor okuyenga no wato mukungu use no nyomire, especially a lady no nyomire. But you see, leadership doesn't have an ini. The marriage is not a training ground. You can have in government, you need to understand policy, and marriage doesn't teach policies. So those are some of the things you prevent Abasai from participating.
In fact, you think about what we chibesa.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is money chibesa no muchando na mono kero kote makulira se siasa yetu ya Kenya.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're saying it's
a
challenge.
Inga kiech campaign like torore siasa chigokorwa. You know, boni gabanta bange mangana yogosero.
Yeah.
Na kinga ne yeko virus youth.
Ni mbaya. Youth tunasema ni mwecheche. So engana yeye chibesa, we are both guilty and we are also victims of the same. Omete wanasemanga mtego wa panya unashika waliokuwamo na wasiokuwamo. Hatukukua wakianza hii culture ya kupeana pesa ndio mtu upigiwe kura, lakini unfortunately we are living in the consequences of the decisions that were made by our predecessors in this country. Bono ria yo monto na David Maraga diago tebanga tariko chigosera bantu na bokoro raka wevu bunakari, because Kenyans ntochande, and I don't blame Kenyans. I blame the government that is keeping Kenyans in an economic loop ya lack and deficiency. Did you montare enchararo no enaye kore enchara no tegerero monto? Only we are saying 2027 tigato 14 people that are going to make structural differences. I don't blame people that want koserunga irinde banyore kwerende. I'm just saying to understand into nabasai. Ababande babote chibesa bagoche inu bangerende lakini vote responsibly.
All right.
Yeah.
Asingencho eyebiro ondo Sofrida.
Yes.
Ngachire engananira actually na robe kitasumutandao.
Yes.
I don't know inki youth gusaba sai mwe mukereteri bererega na mone yakero kote makurigire finance bill egatia mangana na rega mwari gitasimitandao.
Yes.
Why are you saying that reject 2026-2027 finance bill?
We are saying that because there's kuna kuiba na kuna kumaliza kabisa. Ukipika chakula upate mtoto wako amechukua nyama 2-3, you can forgive. Lakini upike ukijua mnakuja ukula sapa, ukuje upate mtoto alikula na akaosha sufuria. Hiyo ndio shida tuko nayo na William Ruto. Shida tuko nayo na serikali ya leo, si eti wanatuitisha tax, si eti wako na budget ya finance bill. Tunaangalia content za hiyo finance bill, tunauliza hata kama ni kutax tuwatolee wapi? Tunawatolea wapi hizi vitu mnataka? For example, let me highlight a few things on finance bill. Na a lot of people wamekuja kusema, sio youths pekee wamekuja kusema, hata people that have organizations. For example, there's an organization yenye inaitwa Institute for Social Accountability, TISA ebako boriga bono iga edeti ya itoto bwate erideni to bwate ria Kenya bono iga erire 12.84 trillion Kenya shillings. Trillion inechibesa chingo mondo tanyano no ko imagine. Internally serikali ya sabire 7.07 trillion Kenya shillings. Bono twaboriga, why do we have a budget egoika 4.8 trillion? Why are we living beyond our means? Because this is money bako chinande go saba erinde banyare go effect this budget. That is the one problem to bwate. Number 2, bali morenka nande mubwate simi moko ndigereria on Facebook ne simi obwate koboko ayemanyanga na ki going forward esimi is going to be taxed ba push the excise duty ya mobile phones koru 10% mpaka 25%. Oma etana boko understand koru 10 to 15 10 mpaka 25 yutalie kwa ngakie koru kwe ekera Hiyo ni mbaya bwana. Huwezi finya watu wenye. Nao watu wana punish ni kina nani? Because when we look at this bill, we have to look at the target audience ya hii bill. Target audience ni youths. Wakati unatoa excise duty ya simu kuru 10% to 25%, it means you are affecting 18.4 million youths wakutumeka TikTok lero. Those are the people between the ages of 15 and 35 years. Okay?
All right.
Do you have time ago? And are you patient enough or you want to go on a break? Because this is a very important issue.
Okay. Tunaenda na wakati kindly pia.
All right.
Are you done?
No. I wanted to say something else.
Just say it.
I wanted to say rent bono iga ya rusi gunga income tax ya rent from 7.5% to 10%. Aki baba bori iga ngo akana more bed sita 15,000 Kenya iga kisi.
All right. Asing into ye bro Fredo. Ngachire nkuboriro mwarekera tukwenda somo hotel tumukisi mitugekerengera likengere kiegega. Oro tindulirwa tifa rwa bwato kwa chitareke 14 cy'umutinyo yu gatano 2026 umwaka. Onoro boterwa chagete gokorerwa oburingo rigose bwachagete ko kuraniwa kerengera kimura chiga chagete gosangire guchakira stareke ibere weka stareke 14 cy'umutinyo yuga ugatano. In fact usekurigire robot rokoro kinga isekunyareka nga wila saize chikura chise gwa William Ruto nigagutangana nekerengo gya 24%, Kalonzo mubwatina 19%, Dr. Fred Matiang'i igaro yu gatatu na 14%, Edwin Sifuna nigaro yu kane na 10%, kurwa utome kubwatigwa na Rigathi Gachagua with the 9%. Usikurigireria ekorengana ne gazeti ya rengi ya The Daily Nation yaragotebanga kwa kweli Kalonzo baisego koroko bwaterana na Matiang'i baranyore kerengo gya 31%. Kalonzo bakore okubwaterana na Edwin Sifuna nigo baranyore between 25% gose 24%. Kerengere kyongireke
nankeringa at the end of the day onye Ruto gakuru and my party leader has said this a priority to bwate bono igankirina ki toboke 2027 August after to akire chikura tonyorenga to change regime because totanye change tingo to itere. That is the thing that whether it is through Sifuna, whether it is through Orio Gocha Konyara Komorusi, into our position is that we are going to align when that time comes. And when that time comes, Ruto cannot stand a chance against the will of the people.
All right. 0785-102-102-0704-102-102 SMS line 0706-102-102 Vuna radio.
Baba. Ya murabu.
Biatori.
Bono tetinda igwa ekwende ya benene ninkibate bete bakokolera abakenya ekero rutaruro. Kwa sababu bakona batebanga nkumira na bare nkobanga bare bachokie candidate yemo. Lakini barabuo betangasire inki bako chigonchoreria bakokorera mu Kenya ya muntu.
Asante sana boke, shukrani sana. 0785-102-102 SMS line 0706-102-102 wege namba ya 0704-102-102 Vuna hello.
Abambe ya murabo studio.
Ndiya turi.
Nagofre sana sincho. Yobo ngaini weno na omujabe mwale tirogoro.
Asante. Police. Vuna hello. All right, 0785-102-102 0704-102-102 agotebanga Wycliffe Aminga asoba youth being used, it's all about Obotaka. And as you know, Obotaka no voice, youth are championing up for inclusivity on that table or we break it. On radio.
Hello? Anomia. Anti gato botehinga. Awaro te buya kibuna bono roje kure kuja umate siasa ni njanja sana. Nige nitenga nya sauri yoto ko sawa. Nitengi ne bora kini yende ngabagweka namo ba sorry ngente kama asante.
Asante sana Franco Vuna hello.
Baba. Wagira.
Bwakire.
Ngwanili muswati ya umbia.
Na mukwaniri.
Yombanya murembo.
Karibu panya murembo.
Baete. Igendo tokurigereria sai. Tejana ndo tumekira. Tokarara togwake kura togake kura tawe. Bonega na ande chana bonega toligereria totai tokobeke egeti bonega totai tabanda bake boka. no muswati ya kwana kuwa iwe to madeli montegerrete tigango bote e way forward nereri sai ndara nyore way forward nereri pato era si jana na into torre sto kuligeri gisenge njombe cha andegete.
All right, asante. Oh, sorry panya mrembo, please. Vuna, hello.
Vuna lekale. Nakibwa kire studio.
Wakire.
No era director.
Karibu director.
Gure buno mosao ya era sire buya. Lakini bona gento ndete ko moboja. Oje mune chiko twara chinguru na ya bwata ririkare. Ekiagera bona igatima ipinga ande. Umuntu bako chikosoki ningo. Unero mokuti na chinzete bona to era atomanya ngaibali.
All right. Asante, shukrani sana director Seribulja Frida atalijibu. Okay, Vaste nimeona ujumbe wako. Evans Mokwa ntinga. All right. Okay. Nimeona ujumbe wako pia. Vuna, hello.
Radio Vuna, hello. Dismas kabeo kurulia gongera magi.
Karibu Dismas.
Kwalenta banda ngenyi muna wekaulie ityo mumenja orodo ya kubema secretary kenyingi na sekiamekyo. Ngeke mungaini aba mbaro abasayibanda abasaliye abasayibanda lieta basalikia banga abasayimbo manyezikende bono ile bintu ketene byati totikom amangana amange mbaro bamanyete lakini mbaba kwa abantu bakongirira baro babamona baragwa oyino monto mungaini mono nade entire yitora tebanga tikabachore ebarengete aende tikabarwanira umwana Dismas kabe kurulia ngera mbiyawo.
Asante Dismas, shukrani sana. Agotenga James Matoke kurenya bigege miriri swali deli orocho borai bogochi gochenchi aba bari muina Linda Ground mbaire ne muina Linda Mwananchi. Okay, shukrani sana James Matoke, twali ujumbe wako kabisa. Evangelist Esbon Gesicho. Alright kabisa. Wycliffe Aminga nkagirite narura ujumbe yaye igorugaiga igara watabanga my SG Linda Mwananchi Youth League Gusii region, the impact so well. Say hello to her, mwambie we are going into levels we are determined. Alright, asante sana Albert na ujumbe wako kabisa. SG spreading one time gospel. Okay, chijumbere chinyingi chiri Frida singincho yebiro tikaturagenda na mabuli ayo motegerere nyarako bagakuburi kurega segwetere namba yesimi egateba nga.
Yes, I think I've noted them down.
Yeah.
Diganda hatevi kwanza Dismas Kaveo, thank you so much. Ako tayo nga kwareta abantu abangaini kwani
lead actually nabangaini
lakini asante sana Diganda chakira neria oyore kurukuru miriri ariko tebanga gose ne cheke abantu baba Linda Ground baira ne in Linda Mwananchi you are they are between a rock and a hard place nakigo tebanga they are jumping from the frying pan into the fire because by the time bago cha in Linda Mwananchi abantu konyora to abarorire who they are.
All right,
nande ntonga ineka no nyangu si abatogo support abamogo support Fredo Kengo Matiangi mbale bagocha gosoma abuchimbe ba choko bwaterere gotinga but if we examine them nabantu batanchi timwana inchi you go let us be on the lookout naro bolinga
Fredo ntekita mabuli atokenda subwango mono kindly libori bune lyo bokabolinga inkimugo chigokorera bakenya kero mweso kirega obwatera ne libori yachanga tohange we forward.
Yes, we are going to remove punitive taxes. For example, when chiko in the finance bill, punitive taxes chiko cripple the mwananchi. Number 2, we are going to ensure systems work for the young people. As saying in Jobonega systems, they are not working from nomination all the way to elective positions and all that. We are going to ensure proper economic policies. For example, even tebigabiyo kuboro mpaka toas nyugwakana. Those are some of the agenda chia Linda Mwananchi. Because one tebiri about time, Frankona teba mangana unity. Unity abantu bachamo, and Franco, I want to tell you it's just a matter of time. People are going to come together. I think na Panyamrembo natebe about having abantu young people in elective positions. Panyamrembo, I want to say that is going to happen in Linda Mwananchi. Otherwise, it's a youth organization and youths are going to come out for these elective positions.
Mbaro batebanga mubasokuye abantu bakongire. Nandigento actually the last question yaringenga ODM ne chigutora chinguru na yabo atakare.
that is a question that will be decided by the people by ODM, because as we can see already there is a rift. Sindio?
Okay.
There is a rift. There is Linda Mwananchi and there is Linda Ground. If watu wa Linda Ground wataamua sacrifice their selfish interest so that they can build a new face that is going to be people-centered, that is going to look at the poor people on the ground, wache kulinda stomach zao, then probably there can be a salvage. But before that, the people in Linda Mwananchi will do what needs to be done at whatever cost in order to salvage our organization.
Frida, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Ingana ya uchesomo tegeli, ingana ya uchesomo sae, ingana ya uchesomo Kenya kwa ujumla.
Omo Kenya kabanogo semeria. I know things are tough. Nima yete muri wa afford rent, nima nyetenga school fees imekuwa shida, na si kupenda kwenu, ni kwa sababu ya taxes. Nima nyetenga food on the table is a problem, but there is hope, and that hope is inside us. We the people, you just need to remember who you are. Remember you have the final say in the political life. Self-determination yoboge mabwago. Be bold. Soka. No, you nega hako soka. We are going to make a difference, but hang in there. We are seeing the problem. Kitwara hope.
Thank you so much. Manchumo wategele mangana maya senchirere yo wenge go sabo kwa berede kane ya moya minchire chinsani nyechibono mame. Bye bye.
Vuna FM
102.0
Radio Talk. Vuna FM.
Vuna FM. Atoseseni wa motwenzi. Tokuneke minero.
Aya namangana maya asenjera yowe.
Teka vira mega ya chinsenye chebo na mambia mangana maya senchirere yo wenge kurwa segeta seni kia uwanje tena mbe moke Radio Vuna heri eteria nenche gongoro kwa Geoffrey Ngongo eba batani weche semi kurwa soro gongoro gusi ni gobarreka ne koro kyo mogokobo na nemono kubwate sekegi mumuro bulio mu yabweche semi OCBE sekali batabiruna nigo kurwa libagalitanga nigo cha sebi go bya baroki wa chisukuru imense ya Kenya kago sangana balike mangana maya moroke monebwe sukuru ya Sendon Post konye byose gotoka sebunge getotoma saba se county Nyamira Andrew Nyamari nigatabira buno muro bulio yo nigo kuri bagalitanga nigo cha saboro ko yakolengani wono muro bulio mokoro 0844 nonye nabo nigagande go segetegesa gukemo gusi go sira baroki wa chisemi unenchire mego chokuba bantu bengencha sama tukali busyo Seneta bwe county ya Nyamira liko kongo mogeni nigo moiro koboko mo orai osama kwenye bumorai bwe kyamage Jubilee Dr. Fred Okingo Matiangyo iboro kiriganga yigo chikulige kero ke borai wensa sabo chulya bonne bole bose bunenchire me koleta moncho liyo borai mense kokwa na sebunge ugunja hase county ya Siaya bwigoro Kongo nigo hagenda irigo segeta bantu kurwa segesa gukebagere kumubwate sematiangya seganga bwate ukulige kero ke borai wense ekere kyo nigirete chinga kechina kwenda ko ikiri serikali rabisi bone ya Kenya kwanza hase hokugenda kubonelia ba Kenya gwetera soko kineli goli ya mabuta imense ngati abagwatani kurwa sekiama ya ODM beso kile na kwegero bwa matebwa abo manekia makalia ya UDA na nemono insio boraibu moraibu ensobone William Ruto mwenyekero go bwikiama kya ODM musubati Gladys Wanga nigegerero ko bwatana ukwe sekali atabiru na niko kwene kibuna mero mongo kolekanire bo ikirano Wanga hoyo bareta babwatani bandi kurwa sekiama ya ODM asense ya Dandola abwigoro nigo hagende go segeto ko choro ko morai hebwense obone William Ruto sentune ya kabere asenonye nabatabiru na nige kiame kerachi ekoba egati ye kiama igo chikorose serikali gocha asobo cholyo bonne bole bosi na senchirere yo wenge chinsa isano na indengora nandega kumanya yemo na yanda manga senchirere yo wenge gongoro kwa Geoffrey Ngongo na kuganiro botegeli burubia
Oyo noro mwelio wa mangana maya asenjera yo wenge
Vuna FM. Vuna Vuna FM. Vuna FM. Ase bibindi bia. Vuna FM. Asamatera mayai. 102.0. Asambaranga mayai. To sese
ekeminero ekebungo kirituko kurwa Radio Vuna.
Yohana 15:1 kibungu kia 33. Ayana abatebirie erinde munyale koba no murembe imeyane asense na munyole mechando kurendere mimyoyo nche nabwirense. Yohana 15:1 kibungu kia 33. Ayana abatebirie erinde munyale koba no murembe imeyane asense na munyole mechando kurendere mimyoyo nche nabwirense.
Ekio na kibungo kirituko kurwa Radio Vuna.
Lakini mechando kibono kunya gwetera nyomba ke yani birogo bikombu no magongo
kunya kumana nyomba naende nayo muchando kadenga ngo tentu bwati birogo
one kero konte minjo muchando kasaba subate no bakorosie nyomba ibirogo bono na gurete bono nkikira kini boneke
inga kikiba kaboni gatato go ikaransire birogo binga bunebiga tumatinge birogo byachire byekerera
ebono eduka ya Yako Fashions keroka ni gobono yako rentere birogo bya plastic chairs kwa bei nafuu yani bire bya big boss boigonko nya tore chiduve amarangeti chi bed sheets emeito yonsi ya kerenge nchobuneri orthopedic chikoshon ebikoroto chishati emechibi chikobia chibagi chionsi gati yabo cheskuru laptop bags trolley bags fiber bags takis chunk pin na boigo pioneer bags chionsi oranyora serigoliria moko eri oruseirie discount asense moye chianga nkonya tore trousers cha soft na hard khakis suits chishati chi t-shirt dresses ebikoroto by'abasubati n'abasacha byekerero ebyoranyora serigoliria moko imeya Yako Fashions boigo ntubwata bakorera bakoenekia kwenyorere byonsi uganetie asubororo tarera Yako Fashions assistage ya keroka enchire gosoka goche bosongo orosagia ronde ni gorogotoka bukeroka getaseni kya banyanyimbo moino akisimia se namba 0725372326 gose 0728903422 Yako Fashions keroka obokoreri obuya asebonsi.
Shukrani msikilizaji kwa kuendelea kusikiliza Radio Vuna 102.0 FM. Tunadhamini ubora na ili kuboresha zaidi vipindi vyetu tunahitaji maoni yako. Kama unayo maoni, malalamishi, maswali au pongezi, tujuze kupitia barua pepe info@radiovuna.co.ke. Piga simu 0703102102 au 0705102102 ama tutembelee katika ofisi zetu Galilaya, Mwembe University Way off Kisii Kilgoris Road. Asante sana msikilizaji. Radio Vuna tosesenigwe kera engake
toseseni wa motwensi tokuneke minero
Radio Vuna. Radio Vuna. Minto mwenye witinge litukulirya nchirarire likwayirira likuminyoka umutinyo 5 na 3 umwaka 2026 igiturikiye basacha men's conference
ine ajenu musacha twakwareganire oje tusangamo asomuriko bene o men's conference aseturanyore libagali okwanira amakongu tugwetera buna basacha okwagachana chinkoro konyora obosemya bwa bene kurwa asabamanye nabo igo konyora esegeto yobogima erineli bagali wesomya kobweni gwake birengerelyo kokina kemoikana boyo kwagachwa buna omusacha bwekene ebesajo kwelikia necho shiringi chimisano choka akana gwetera epepi number 552800 account number nigere 103 enekirieta Radio Vuna tubaisa ko hosali bageli ngencho lyogo chencha obogima bwaho
umutinyo 5 na 3 umwaka 2026
erike mapema Radio Vuna tosese niwekera engake.
Eduka ya Pick Uniforms and Sports Center nigekoro isena kone uniform cha KMTC na buno mwiboli obwato mwana KMTC gosole otagate gosoa KMTC tarera Pick Uniform onyore uniform wengiya ya KMTC nechi college au nechi nyagetare egati ya uniform chiribakonia buno chi overall chi dust coat chigobia chianga cha bateresa nechinde chinyinge Pick Uniforms and Sports Center gosona bale chianga je chinyangi chikwaya neche skuru naende ngokora bale printing ye chianga sinchira au buna embroidery plotter vinyl printing na screen printing inyora eduka ya Pick Uniforms and Sports Center nigo babwate bibyonse seligolire nsekigimase wholesale elio oranyale goikeria Pick Uniforms and Sports Center nige gotoka se nyomba ya Baraka angena Shivling Enya asamange vakere simi ase namba 0720-398-360. Pick Uniforms, where quality meets efficiency. Nadia Hardware and Electricals neduke koni bintu bionsi byobwagachi yani all construction materials buna chisimiti chichuma emesumari na binding wires plumbing materials mbabwata chitangi waste pipes and all fittings electrical accessories njireo buna cables bulbs downlighters na consumer units fencing materials mbabwata chipost barbed wires na chainlings as interior finishers njireo paints tiles PVC ceilings handles locks na flash doors mbabwate boigo e machine yoko mix chirangi Nadia Hardware and Electricals nigotogotoka Kijauri na Keroka asoro segerwa Kijauri asebale kobota ni Keroka na Chebirate twakere simia sinamba 0718-530-990 main branch bono ya Igoirwe imeyomo chokeroka ansensemo yilibwago barabari ni nyagitale nene ya Keroka level 5 ebare nene ya Keroka metamaywa twakere simi 0715-553-775 Nadia Hardware and Electricals naora nyoli bintu bionsi byobwagachi karibu sana.
Yesu ametuita kila mmoja ili tujitolee kufanya kazi yake. Mavuno mengi shambani